Hello guys, Marco Schwarz here, and in this video I will show you how I select the best real estate crowdfunding deals on real estate crowdfunding platforms. So I will show you an example of a deal I invested in the past on a platform in the UK called Property Moose. However, what I will show you in the video can really apply to any real estate crowdfunding platforms, for example, if you are in the US or in any other country in the world. So I will show you how I use my own checklist to select the best deals and to eliminate deals if they are not good enough. So let's get started and analyze this deal here, which was a property available a while ago on Property Moose. So before we start actually analyzing this deal, I want to tell you something that I will use during this video, and it's of course my checklist for crowdfunded real estate, okay? So this is my own checklist that I use for real estate crowdfunding. I use this list whenever I'm selecting a new deal on a crowdfunding platform. So of course, I will share this list with you for free. You will just find a link to the checklist just below the video. So now I will put that on my other screen so I can actually have a look at it, and I will show you the deal here and how I should analyze it. So the first step that I always do if it's a new platform, and really here I want to show you how I would do it from the start. The first thing I do is actually to check the platform itself, okay? So here it's a platform called Property Moves, and I know that I've been using it, for a while, but if it's a new platform you're using, first make sure that it has actually good reviews on the web, okay? So just go to a web page and Google Property Moves reviews, okay? So many people will have reviewed it, and you can see there are some good reviews over there. Maybe you will even find a review on my own website. But overall, if you read those reviews, that's the reviews I read when I first started to invest on this platform. So overall, the reviews are good for this platform here. But of course, check that for any platform you are investing in, and never trust, the platform at start. Even if it looks good, just check independent reviews on the web. After that, I like to try out the platform. I try out their support, okay? If they actually are a real platform and if they actually answer to customers. So try to just email them, try to go on the live chat. So you should do just over there. Try to just call them actually, just to see how they respond to customers. And Property Moose here also answered really good on the live chat, for example. They are very reactive, so that's definitely a good point. Then check if the real estate crowdfunding platform actually offers a management service of the properties, okay? Because what you want with real estate crowdfunding is to invest in 100% passive real estate, okay? So you definitely need to check that there is like a built-in management service for the properties. It can be something that they propose, or something that they just delegate to a third party, okay? Both are great, okay? Property Moves, they do it themselves, so they handle the properties, but definitely check what's in place for the management part of the properties. So next, what I look at is, of course, the cash flow of the property and the price, okay? Because that's what I'm interested in as an investor. So once I found a deal like this one here, what I look at is first check if the property has a sufficient yield, okay? Because I've been investing in many properties myself, like buying the whole property, and actually the yield at the end was very low for all the efforts. So here I'm really looking for a good yield on the properties, and it's usually the case for these like older properties that has been refurbished, like it's definitely the case here. If we look at the pictures. So I'm looking for a yield of at least 7%, okay? Which is high for properties, but definitely attainable, because these old properties that have been refurbished usually have a higher yield. So here you can see that the projected yield is at 7.8%, which is very good. So definitely this was something that made me interested by this property. I also made sure that it will be acquired at below market value, okay? So that they actually secure the property at a good price that is below the price of the market. This will make sure that not only the yield will be high, but when it will be time to think about selling the property, the return would be much higher because you already had a discount to start with. And here it's already the case. As you can see, they had a 10% discount compared to the market, so this is quite good as well. Next, I actually checked what they kind of planned for expenses, because there would be expenses, okay? And I'm not talking about like taxes, accounting and everything, more like unplanned expenses, you know, like a fridge breaking down. And if they didn't plan anything, it means that the return that you will actually see will be much lower than, you know, that what they said, right? In the apartment I was renting that I owned myself, the yield was quite good on paper, but then when I counted everything that I need to do and to pay inside the apartment, the actual yield was much, much lower. So here, make sure that they actually plan something for renovations. And here you can see that with most of the properties that they have on the site, they actually plan some like not only money for renovations, but also a lot of things to cover, you know, for gas, electric, plumbing. And also there is this provision fund every year that is included inside the price of the property to cover unknown expenses. Exactly what I said, okay? So that's very good because this fund, if it's not used, right, it will just be returned to the investors at the end. But if it is needed, then it actually won't affect the yield that you see, right? Because you already paid for the unknown expenses when you actually bought the shares for the property. So that's great, and that's been taken care of by Property Moose here. So next, I actually analyze the property itself, okay? And it starts with the location. So I usually don't read too much about like the city, you know, but usually you will find a lot of information on the property website itself. For example, here, like Hartlepool, it's like apparently very close to the water, which is great. And we'll come back to that later, but basically there is already a lot of information on the site itself. But the first thing I always check, okay, is not to use their map here, because it says it's Google, but it might be, you know, their own stuff. So just to be sure, I always take the coordinates of the property, okay, and then I open Google Maps in my own browser, okay, and I just paste the coordinates here. And what I want to see if it actually matches the picture I'm seeing here. You know, does the property actually exist, right? And whenever it's possible, I'm using Google Street View. So here it's available. And let's check what can be this property. Yeah, I think it's this one over there with this white door. Let's check with this first picture here. Yeah, that's definitely the one with the same door here. So the property definitely exists, which is quite great. Of course, you can see it's from October, and this was, I think, last year. So definitely, I hope that it has been refurbished better than what I'm seeing here. So I think that's quite an old picture compared to what they are showing on the site. But great, the property exists. That's the first thing. And then there are all stuff that I can check or not, depending on the property. Okay. So for example, if it's in the middle of like a big city, I would check the crime, you know, in that particular area. I imagine here, a little town by the sea, the crime is not such a big problem. I will check, however, for the unemployment rate, okay? That's quite easy. You just need to go to Google, type unemployment rate for the city, so it's Hartlepool. And it's crazy, all the statistics that you can find online at the moment. So here I have a lot of statistics on like an official UK website, and I will just click on unemployment. So it seems that there is more unemployment compared to the region and even the whole Great Britain. So that's not so great, okay? That's not very good news, because if there is a lot of unemployment, it means that the tenants that they will put in the property might, lose his or her job, right? Meaning that they might not pay the rent in the future. However, what really made me invest in this property, and that's quite unique for some of those properties, is this here, okay? And you really need to look for this. Underwritten rent means that basically somebody, usually a company, just guarantees the rent, okay? For example, a company will want to, put some of their employees in some rental, and they will basically already pay for the rent, maybe for 1 year, for 2 years in advance, just to secure the property for their employees. And then they will take that from the salary, right? So that's great, because it's not somebody, like some people living in it, that will pay you the rent. It's some company that guarantees the rent, okay? So that's great. I think I would not have invested because of those numbers here, which are quite bad. But because of this underwritten rent, I definitely invested. Another thing I look at is, the population growth and the growth in general inside the area I'm investing in. And here I have some information in here that there is a development of the Dockland, like £60 million invested. Apparently it's a region and a city that is quite growing during the past years. So that's also great, okay? Here I don't really need it as it's an underwritten rent, but I like that this will actually make the property grow in value, okay? And you can actually see it. Like, you have a very nice estimated return here, which is like the total return, not only because of the rent, but also because of the capital gain on the property. And actually Property Moves is really great, because you also have like a simulator here of the income, right? So you have the property growth, you have the property income, and that's the acquisition price. So you can really estimate and even play with those numbers here to really have an idea of what you will get in the future, okay? So overall, this property was, fitting most of the criteria I have on my checklist. Just for an unemployment rate, it was not great, but the fact that they had an underwritten rent really made me more confident about this deal, and therefore I invested. I don't remember how much exactly, but I invested. Oh yeah, I invested here. Yeah, 300 shares. And I invested this amount of pounds here, and I got already this amount back as rental income. So I definitely, if you're interested, I definitely made an update on this property in the future to see how it goes. So I think so far all the rent was collected as usual, so that's also great. So I definitely made some updates about this property in the future, but so the goal was really to show you how I select my real estate crowdfunding deals that I will then add to my portfolio. And this property and many other properties are giving me completely passive income from real estate every month. So this is already the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. So as I said before, just look below to find the checklist that I'm using to select my real estate crowdfunded deals, and you get it for free, and then you can use it as well for your own portfolio. So that being said, thank you again for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.